Hi, it's Jackie, and I am back. I have so sorry I've been gone so long. We've had Christmas and illness, and then I had to have a CAT scan and an MRI, and then this crud, whatever is going around here. I am so sorry if you get it because it is awful. And there are three of us in my house, and it's hit every one of us at least twice in the past few weeks. So, anyway, today I am going to talk about the three different kinds of clients. Whether you are the client or you are the medium or the channel or the psychic. And I think a lot of us have come across these three types. If there's a fourth, let me know. They're pretty much, one, two, three. First, you have the client that will tell you nothing. Absolutely nothing. They will come in for the session or over the phone. I explain how I work, and they will sit there like this. No. 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 And you're asking, does this make sense? Because it's really difficult to work with a client who is giving nothing back. Energetically, if someone is not giving back to the conversation, you kind of just quit the conversation and move on. So working with spirit and energy, we need the energy of the conversation to carry on to get the messages correctly to you. So there are a couple different reasons why the ones that say nothing. They are either extremely nervous and not ready for the session, but somebody will have said, oh, you need to go, this will help you, but they're not ready. And that's okay. I can always say, you can come back. If this is something you're not ready for, let's reschedule. Here's my name. Your session's already been paid for. Call me when you're ready. If you think you absolutely do not want this session, let me give you a refund. If it was a gift card, I can't do anything about that. But they're not ready, or they're testing you. Those are my favorite clients. That can go either way with a client. So the person who gives you nothing in return, that expects you to do, well, this is going to sound bad, but because technically I am doing I'm interpreting all the work with spirit and their messages. But if I'm describing the spirit over here, okay, he died when he was about, 51, 52. I can't gauge the exact age, but it's in that range. He had blue eyes, he had, gray hair, he had dark hair, depending on what he had when he died. And then I will go into what they did for a living or how they passed, or, and if we don't word it just correctly, they're going to shut down and they're going to go, no. And all along, it's a yes, and a yes, but they're not willing to budge. And what they're wanting is this big moment that they see on TV that has been edited out. I'm not saying the people on TV aren't giving accurate readings, but there's a lot of stuff that's edited out. And so you're seeing this big moment that does happen, but the expectation of it, so they're completely shut down. And it's frustrating. I understand it, but it's frustrating because you're trying to give them everything that they're looking for, but they're not willing to accept it, listen to it, or they're wanting proof of something that I may not get. And I'm going to say it, and take it as you will. If you are to test somebody, and you do need good recommendations, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to, just whatever. You go to spirit fairs, and that's why they don't charge so much, so you can try and fill people out. You need that, but don't test somebody. If you had spent what I charge, or if you're spending, and compared to the rest of the United States, I don't really charge that much. If you're spending several $100s on this session and you're giving nothing back, and all you want is proof, sometimes you have completely wasted your time, your money, and spirit's time. As the channeler, you're not going to make me feel silly or fake or whatever, because I'm just doing my job. And testing, why waste your money on something like that just to test somebody? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes spirit just like, wow, okay, well, I can give you all this information, but if you're not going to accept it, then there's nothing much I can do. A few times I have been tested. They have sat back and they said, you tell me. And I'll go, is this a test? Are you testing me? Absolutely, I'm testing you. And they're just so okay with it. They're just, yep, I'm testing you. Prove it. And I have fallen for it several times, and I'm getting better at that, because either they end up not paying me or whatever. But this one lady sat down. She said, I'm testing you. Tell me something hardly anybody else knows. And I got real quiet and I listened. And then I personally started crying, because I had cancer. And it was the same type of cancer that she had. And I started crying. And she goes, oh, you're just, and I said, no. I said, I'm really sorry. And she's looking at me blankly, and I said, you've just been diagnosed with cancer. And I said the exact same kind of cancer that she had. And I said, the doctor just diagnosed you. You just got your results back a few days ago. And she's looking, and I thought she was going to throw up. I really thought she was going to throw up. I don't think she expected me to say that. And I mean, how would I know that she just recently got diagnosed with cancer? The same exact cancer that I had. So sometimes if you're going to get tested, if you're testing me, sometimes spirit will be like, okay, you gave her full reign, you gave us full reign, so that's what we're going to do. So you have that kind of client. And then you have the client that gives you everything all at once. They sit down, well, my grandmother died, my mother died, and I'm going, wait, stop down, stop. Shh. And they're like, what? I'm like, thank you so much for all the information. That kind of goes against, you want to leave me something to give you to confirm that what I'm doing is real. I don't want them to be able to come back and say, oh my God, you were just, so incredible, and which is really nice to hear. I also don't want them to come back and say, I told you everything, and so there's that two reasons. So when you have a session, give some information. We need your name. I will start out with going, what is your purpose with this session? It's fair. Some people don't want to connect with spirit. Some people do. Some people just want to know what's going on with life and their kids and all of that, which is great. So each session is different. And, when you book a session with me, there's the medium session and then there's the soul purpose session. So, you don't want to give so much away that when you go home, you're like, but I gave them that information. And I have had times where I literally get nothing from the person you want to hear from, which isn't saying that they don't want to speak to you. You're just in a point to where you're not ready. That's what I found. Oftentimes, if you get nothing, I can't say nothing. After messages, the client will say, is there anybody else? And I'll go, well, you have this person over here and this person over there, but they're sending love and they're part of the support system and part of the session. But a message, no, but they are here. So I try to remember to do that, when I look around my room, when I look around my studio to work, I'll notice this soul and this soul. And yes, sometimes there is a really loud, talkative soul that does all the talking for everybody. So what is perfect, if it would be a happy medium. See what I did there? Pun. A good in-between session. You give me just enough information, your name, what you want from this session. I'm not saying give me details. That's not what I'm asking for. Enough information. Just so I can pinpoint, because I'll just start off, and many times I just start off and say, well, this, this da 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 da, and this person here, and they had, they died of this really weird. I see black over here on their left side. It's kind of lower down underneath their heart, and it's a black spot, but it doesn't feel like cancer. But it, there's, details like that, and they're like, oh, well, that's my great Uncle Joe. And so you want to give enough and you want to take. You want to participate in your session so much that it's fair and you're getting the information that you want. I often say, bring a list of questions. Typically I get to your answers before I even have you pull that list out. And then, before you leave, I always give time to go over, to understand, to go back over information that you received. And they'll pull out their list of questions and go, well, you've answered every single question. Or they'll say, oh, well, there's a couple of here that you didn't get to. We're limiting to a 60, 90-minute session. So, unless you want to book me all day and just sit down and have a conversation, that's great. But it's limited, and that would completely exhaust me, and you would leave emotionally wrecked. So finding a good balance between your session as a client and as a reader. As a reader, you want to be honest and say, this is what I'm really good at, and this is what I'm not. I personally will say, I rarely get names. If I get a name, pay attention. I don't remember people's name in real life anyway. Walking down the street, I've known people. I've known people my whole life, and I still don't remember their names. Is that not terrible? I will remember their face, and if we run into each other in another country, I will know your face, and I will know the relation, and I will know how we met, but I will not remember your name. So I don't get names, but all the other details, and you have to remember, people color their hair, people, their voice changes, or you knew them after they had a limp in their whole life, and you're like, well, there's no way they played football because this limp was just horrible. Well, did you know them in high school? I think I've mentioned the lady that I was saying, no, your dad had black hair. No, my dad did not have black hair. I'm seeing your father, and he has black hair. That's what I'm seeing. I'm sorry if you think I'm wrong. Put that aside, take that information, and I will not take back what I'm seeing, and so she goes home and calls her mom, and her mom's like, oh yeah, your dad had black hair when he was young. When I first met your dad, he had black hair. He had Elvis hair. So I was validated. The information I was giving her was validated. So it's little things like that. Be a little bit more open, and I will tell this story 100 million times. I had clients. They're still two of my favorite people I work with occasionally. They'll call me about every year and a half or so, and just to see what's going on. And I was like, military. No, I don't know anybody in military. I said, they could be living. Now this information, they could be living. Oh no, military. No, I don't know anybody military. And I go to, they wanted to take a smoke break, and I said, can I refill my water? And I went to the refrigerator and was getting my water, and her husband's military ID was on the refrigerator. He had just retired from the military. He was living. He retired from the military, and so they come back from smoking, and I said, what's this? And she goes, oh, that's my husband's military ID. I said, military. And she goes, oh God, I didn't even, sometimes the information, work with your client. Tell them what happens with you in your session. I will explain. You will hear me call myself Jackie. You will, if you're about to talk, and you'll see me look away, and I'll put my hand up. And I said, don't be offended, because I'm listening and I'm trying to hear, because it takes a lot of work for the soul, for the spirit to communicate. Not all of them come in loud and boisterous, and even if they were that way in life, their soul, even though it's a part of them, may not be a loud, boisterous soul. Maybe that was the life that they were supposed to lead. So, in closing, find a happy medium. Me, I'm often happy. Sometimes I have a really bad day, but no, just kidding. Find a good spot when you work with a medium or a psychic. If you are the client, go in not completely closed off. I mean, you want to have them tell you things that nobody else would really know. So I don't call that a test. That's just information that needs to come across. But work with them. It's a one-on-one, very intimate moment, because there's so many details that are happening at that time. If you are the reader or the psychic or the medium, be open and understanding. Feel how they're feeling. Be your empath and go, oh, they're really shut off, Add a couple minutes to their time to make them more relaxed. Say, are you sure you're ready for this? You can't go in you can't go in just blazing and saying blah, 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 and then they're sit there and they're in complete shock. So that's my advice for today. Find a happy medium, and find somebody you're comfortable with. I was telling a friend, I said, there's millions of us on there. Not everybody's going to be comfortable with me. And I'm not going to be comfortable with everybody. Even I pick and choose who reads me, when I spend my money to go have a reading. Not everybody gets my money, and that's okay. So Anyway, have a blessed day. Stay warm because it's super, super cold out here in Oklahoma. Up north is just a mess. So have a great day. Bye.